that our brains are conditioned to embrace the lies. We're not looking for accuracy. So, on the subject of deception, I wanted to quote one of my favorite authors. In The Decay of the Art of Lying, Oscar Wilde establishes the idea that all bad art comes from copying nature and being realistic. And all great art comes from lying and deceiving and telling beautiful, untrue things. So, I want to make this clear. When you're watching a movie and a phone rings, it's not actually ringing. It's been added later in post-production, in a studio. All of the sounds you hear are fake. Everything apart from the dialogue is fake. Not the only thing that's fake in Hollywood, by the way. But, I mean, when you watch a movie and you see a bird flapping its wings, birds chirping outside your window may indicate normality. They haven't really recorded the bird, because it sounds a lot more realistic used to that if you record every morning a sheet or shaking kitchen gloves. The burning of a cigarette up close. On the other hand, industrial sounds have been introduced to us a little more authentic. If you take a even though I really like them personally, they have been used by one of my heroes, David Lynch, and his sound designer, Alan Splett. Industrial sounds often carry negative connotations. Let me play that again. That's often done by sticking a knife in vegetables, usually cabbage. Sound effects can tap into our emotional memory. Occasionally, they can be so significant that they become a character in a movie. They're a lot more low maintenance than some actors as well. No one was really harmed. It's actually, for example, breaking celery or thunder may indicate divine intervention or anger. So, yeah. Thanks to my three friends who are laughing. Church bells can remind us of the passing making of time, the right sound is not always as easy as a trip to the supermarket and going to the vegetable section. But it's often a lot more complicated than that. Glass so let's reverse engineer together the creation of a sound effect. One of my favorite stories comes from Frank Serafini. Scientists believe that dissonant sounds, and a great sound designer, for example, brass or wind instruments, played very loud, of the Paramount team that won the Oscar for Best Sound for The Hunt for Red October. And therefore create a sense of irritation or fear. In the 90s, they were asked to produce the sound of the propeller. So now, we've spoken about on-screen sounds, but occasionally, the source of a sound cannot be seen. That's what we call off-screen sounds, or acousmatic. The term acousmatic comes from Pythagoras in ancient Greece, who used to teach behind a veil or curtain for years, not revealing himself to his disciples. I think the mathematician and philosopher thought that in that way, his students might focus more on the voice and his words and its meaning, rather than of the visual of him speaking. So sort of like The Wizard of Oz, or 1984's Big Brother, separating the voice from its source, separating cause and effect, sort of creates a sense of ubiquity or panopticism, and therefore authority. There's a strong tradition of acousmatic sound.
Notes of flames of burn.